Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, it's our first round of ballot measures of the year. Louisiana had its ballot measures on Saturday, and let's just say they were pretty stubborn. They were pretty clear. They didn't want any of those ballot measures passing. They have rejected those ballot measures by double digits. The Amendment 2 is actually surprising me, but we'll go over that in a little bit. But we are going to go over the amendment. Let's just say, first of all, these Louisiana ballot measures weren't even publicly informed. Like, we didn't even know these were existing. I knew because I have all the elections prior to the said 2025. I know when the elections are happening, so I was patiently waiting for the March elections for Louisiana. But let's just say public didn't even know. I can tell you this because no one showed up. Even though we have left-wing bing-bongs like beanbags, like Roland Martin, going off with fake outrage over Amendment 2, which we will go over in a little bit. But the reason why the results were so bad, it's just low turnout, period. Low turnout, which does concern me for the Wisconsin race. Good news is we have been, this Wisconsin race has been more of a conversation throughout early spring. And I'm just hoping Republicans, they get out and vote. Am I expecting a victory? No. We gotta remember, guys, Republicans, they never do good in these spring elections. Don't get ahead of yourself. I think Republicans are long overdue for a Supreme Court seat. The last time we won a Supreme Court seat was 2019. It would be nice to win one. And the pressure's on because 2 congressional seats are on the line, but we'll talk about that in a future video. But we're talking about Louisiana today, and specifically the pretty damning results that were displayed today. Let's start off with Amendment 1. Now, the reason why I'm using Ballotpedia, New York Times, or in any outlet, did not track this election. It's kind of fishy. It's like the left didn't want us to come out and vote. Is it voter suppression? Well, I can't accuse them of such, but it is, of course, kind of weird why New York Times didn't have a page for this or count or record these series of ballot measures. It's kind of weird. Like, they were behind the scenes trying to prevent turnout. But let's go ahead and look at Amendment 1. So, Amendment 1, if passed, would allow the legislature to create trial courts of specialized jurisdiction and provide Supreme Court original jurisdiction to discipline out-of-state lawyers. Amendment was on the ballot in Louisiana as a legislatively referred constitutional amendment on March 29th. Yes, so basically, language, it would you allow the legislator to create trial courts of specified jurisdiction and provide the Supreme Court original jurisdiction to discipline out-of-state lawyers. Amendment. So basically giving allowing the legislature to create trial courts to provide original jurisdiction to help discipline out-of-state lawyers. If, let's just say, out-of-state lawyer broke the law. Well, okay, should we create a special court, create these trial courts specified and providing the Supreme Court this jurisdiction to discipline out-of-state lawyers? The answer to that is 65% saying no. Apparently, I'm not so sure why they're don't want to hold lawyers accountable. But then again, I'm just telling you, no one showed up. I mean, sane people would vote yes, in my view, unless I'm misunderstanding the amendment. But 65% is saying no. We don't have any county results, unfortunately, but I think it's pretty clear that 65%, that's pretty much every single parish in Louisiana. So I really don't expect very much in regards to this said ballot measure. But yeah, it was pretty brutal here, 65%. And I guess I would have to learn more about this amendment, but this amendment was handingly defeated. But now let's talk about the most controversial, apparently, Amendment 2, which has made the news. Amendment 2, taxes and budgets. Now, if passed, the State Tax and Fiscal Policy Changes Amendment, if passed, would have made changes to Louisiana's fiscal policies, tax structure, and government spending regulations, located in Article 4 or something like that of the state constitution. Some provisions in the Constitution would have been removed from the Constitution and provided for in state law. Changes that would have been made under Amendment 12 include requiring a supermajority vote for tax legislation, reducing constitutional maximum income tax rate from 4.25% to 3.75%. And again, you're lowering the taxes, right? We're lowering taxes, modifying property tax exemptions, freezing the sales of tax exemptions on food, adjusting severance and cigarette taxes, and dissolving certain education trust funds to address unfunded liabilities. So, that is probably why Roland Martin is upset and all his progressive friends. Ugh, it's dissolving trust funds for education! Come on. Providing in the state constitution that as provided by law, participating employers in the teachers' retirement system of Louisiana shall provide a permanent salary increase to eligible personnel. So, yeah, I think this is obviously a more sane policy. This is, of course, in regards to accountability and, hey, we're willing to make modifications to actually bring more business into the state of Louisiana. But Roland Martin and his far left platform, bringing on Gary Chambers, big old low testosterone Gary, whining and crying about how this is going to hurt black people. What? Hang on a second, Roland. Let's taking the education out of it. Let's make yourself. This is what you're in context. This is what Roland Martin is basically saying to all of us. Black people benefiting from more jobs in Louisiana is going to hurt black people. This is what Roland Martin is saying. And we know why Roland Martin is saying this. Because we have the governor of Louisiana. He came out in support of this amendment. Jeff Landry. He said, we need to pass this. Oh, then we all have to be against it. I really doubt this was supposed to be a partisan ballot measure, but it became partisan not because Jeff Landry, he has a right to make an endorsement and voice his opinion, but we have extreme Democrats like Gary Chambers thinking it's somehow partisan if the governor of Louisiana, who is a Republican, endorses the ballot measure. And he goes and makes his rounds why we should vote against it, spreading misinformation. Now, let's be honest. They're doom spiraling about the education thing. Hey, that is the least active ballot measure here that would, of course, revolve around education. Really, it's really involving businesses and benefits. And benefits, I mean businesses and jobs. But I noticed that Roland Martin didn't spend the most time talking about education, knowing that, you know what, Roland, his concerns are not about education. Instead, he's actually concerned about this bill in general. He says it's going to hurt black people. And all I can think of is education. Oh, okay, that's just one adjustment here. It's saying, all right, we are going to we're dissolving certain education trust funds to address unfunded liabilities. Is that bad? That's horrible, according to Roland Roly-Poly Martin. And he, instead of talking and addressing his concerns about education, he and Gary Chambers whine and cry about how white rich people are going to get their businesses into Louisiana. This is horrible. The white people are gaining so much money. No, well, actually, it's quite the opposite. It's actually African Americans that are getting more money. Think about it. Just think about it. If it weren't for Republicans in Louisiana, there are so many African American jobs, so many black jobs in the South. Not that many in Illinois, not that many in New York, not many in California. It's actually in the South. Republican leadership. And they boo-hoo, whine, and cry on how MAGA is so dangerous and it's hurting black people. What the heck are you talking about? They just want their cheeks clapped. They want their cheeks smacked and clapped. That's all they want. They want to be pat on the head. They want a shoulder rub. They want a kiss on the cheek. That's all they want. They want to be talked in a very soft voice. You matter. Let's celebrate February. And I'm like, no. We don't care about that. These are emotional, low testosterone men and very emotional and unhinged women. Really? Your race and the color of your skin doesn't matter if you're doing well. Oh, you're black, so what? So what? That's become the identity of your life. Oh, guess what? I'm mixed. I don't even know if I'm actually white, by the way. Like, I have doubts because I have ancestors from the Blackfoot tribe in Canada. And I have some Native American developments. So, am I just going to sit on the couch and spend a whole entire day thinking, am I white or am I Native American? No, I don't care. I don't care. I'm likely white. Everyone before me was white. I don't care. I don't care. All I know is, hey, look, I'm living a successful life. It has nothing to do with the color of my skin. But yeah, it does, like, it's frustrating. Because the GOP, Republicans, are trying to help you guys. And what I mean by you guys, I mean the liberals. Mainly liberal African Americans. There are a lot of African Americans that actually love it. They love what the GOP is doing. But we have the liberal African Americans. They're not so happy about it. They're actually mad. Well, we're doing what you wanted us to do. You want us to help black people. Here we go. And they're still not happy. No, they want us to be woke. They want us to be woke. They want us to go do parades and marches in the name of Black Lives Matter. They want us to do this. Jazz and awkward moves. The BLM dance. No, we're not going to do it because all lives matter. And if we're going to do a little dance for the BLM, we're going to do a dance for everyone. We're going to do it for the Hispanics. We're going to do it for the Arabs. We have a whole list. No, just all lives matter. This is all wasted time. But yes, this amendment is kind of complicated, kind of hard to understand. Greg Foreman did a very good job explaining it and how ridiculous the opposition bill of this. I would say it's not just the education part of this. Half of it is race baiting. Half of Louisiana, I would say a little bit of liberal Louisianans are falling for the grift of Gary Chambers saying, oh, this is going to benefit white people. White people and rich white people are going to get benefit from this. No. It's actually the opposite. And here's the funny thing. I think it's Roland Martin. He doesn't want you to succeed. Gary Chambers, he doesn't want you to succeed. If he actually cared about black people and black success, he would support this bill. He would support African-American success. And he's saying this right now, yesterday, or whatever he posted that video, told you, yeah, this guy's pro-progressive. He's not pro-black. He's just playing his role as a pro-African-American Democrat. No, he's pro-Democrat. Because if he was African-American first, then Democrat, he would support this bill. But I don't think he's pro-African-American at all. Let's be honest. This guy hasn't stood up for the black community ever. This guy has led because the black community, half of it, by the way, a lot of them are resisting, thankfully. This guy's just a liar. A liar. A victimizer. He's gaining money by telling you you don't matter. You're oppressed. You need to fight to survive. Yeah, we all have to fight to survive. It's called life. Get a job, make money, put food on the table. That's fighting to survive. But hey, we're talking about a guy who got really triggered after a dude went up to him and complimented him about his jersey, football jersey. And then the next day he cried racism about it. He said it was stereotypical. I saw nothing stereotypical about that. I think it was citing like, he was, and I don't even understand. I haven't watched the video. It's getting public attention because it's how stupid it is. This guy is demented and hateful. This guy wants his money. That's all. And no one can get money but him. That's why it's half of it is he doesn't want a pro-Republican bill. It's not a pro-Republican bill. He's just saying it's a pro-MAGA bill because Jeff Landry endorsed it. Oh, so what? He wants everyone to be below him. He is the alpha. And anyone starts to gain more money than him, then he's going to take the band hammer and whack you down. This is who we're up against. But, yeah, and part of it, Roland Martin's stupid lies about this bill, along with Gary Chambers and his stupid lies. The idea that, some people just don't want to change the Constitution. People here, the 200,000 people, probably supported it because of the tax benefits. That lowering tax, we need it. We need more jobs. But half of this are probably progressives that have been fear-mongered to go out and vote because they think that we're going to ban education in Louisiana. No one said that. We're actually cutting down the spending in education because we need to. But that's horrible. We can't cut spending. We got to give more money to these social justice programs. More money. Spend more money. They're so emotional. They can't stand the idea of taking money away from education. We need our education. They're so emotional. This is the Democratic Party. We can't be reasonable with these people. But anyway, we had to talk about Amendment 2 because it was pretty big. Let's talk about Amendment 3. This amendment would provide the state legislature with the authority to determine in state law which crimes can result in a juvenile being tried as an adult. Removes list of crimes currently in the state constitution for which juveniles can be tried as adults. So let me get this straight. This is so stupid. Okay. It would give the authority to determine in state law which crimes can result in a juvenile being tried as an adult. I think if you are in the age of 13, you should be tried as an adult because you know better. But I'm not so sure what the reasoning of voting against this ballot measure entails. Maybe they don't like the idea of the legislature making up those rules. But then again, every state is different. Every bill, every law comes from the legislature. They create the laws. They create the laws. And I want to believe in Minnesota, if you ever are arrested, like for shoplifting, you're being tried as an adult if you're 13. Even if you're 12 or 10, actually. 10. I saw one case. Or in Wisconsin, I believe that's the same deal. But, if you're 15, you must be tried as a child. This is stupid. But then again, so I no vote oppose allowing the state legislature to determine in state law which specific felony crimes can result in a juvenile being tried. Okay, these Democrats that are supporting the bill, they think they're going to give the juveniles the death penalty. No, they're not. Let's be honest. No, they're not. First off, as a death penalty critic to a point by myself, I am kind of lukewarm with the death penalty. I know for fact that they wouldn't do that. Because this isn't Russia. This isn't China. It's really up to this is the judge, the jury, to decide. And guess what? They're human people. Who wants to sentence a kid to death? Who? Oh, Republican. Oh, you're just so Republican deranged. They wouldn't. Ever. And I can guarantee you, if that ever happened, which it hasn't, except for that one case in South Carolina back in the 60s, if that ever happened, oh boy, it would go over the news, and there would be massive backlash. Has that ever happened yet? Have we ever had a case where a kid was sentenced to death? No, we haven't. So these Democrats going out thinking, oh, they're going to send them the death penalty. These are conspiracy theory Democrats, fear-mongering, and they got their way. Apparently, thankfully, crime is good in Louisiana, but New Orleans, not so much. They do have crime. I mean, let's be honest, we just had a terrorist attack on the 1st of January over there. So, there's definitely some deals. But hey, what can I tell you? There's also Baton Rouge, which also has a crime problem. But this ballot measure was soundingly defeated, unfortunately. Amendment 4 would provide that judicial... okay, let's just read the title provide that judicial vacancies should be filled by calling a special election at the earliest available date, pursuant to state law, rather than the current law, which provides for calling a special election within 12 months after the day the vacancy occurs. Wow, 64% saying no to this. 64%. I mean, so 64% of Louisianans are opposed to having a special election to fulfill the vacancy, so the legislature can get things done. Now, here's the thing. I think half of this is because of low turnout. Let's be honest with ourselves. Half of this is low turnout. How many people are in Louisiana? More than this. 200,000 in total. You only got less than 1 million votes. Less than 1 million people voted in Louisiana. Less than 1 million. Less than 1 million. We could pull up a ballot measure from Louisiana. Extremely low turnout. So, the Liberals, and I have a feeling they're going to do this in Wisconsin, and if they do, you got, guys, we know the truth. If it happens, if we lose that Supreme Court race, which is more likely than unlikely because Republicans are so bad at turning out, Democrats, I promise you, they're going to say the Democratic Party's saved. Are they saved? No, they're not. Why did the Democrats win in Wisconsin? It's not an indictment against Trump, that's for sure. You can take a look at the voter registration of actually who voted in the election, and you'll get your answer. If it's not even 1 million people that voted in Wisconsin, oh, no wonder. No wonder. So they're going to do their PSYOP if they win. And I'll be doing a video on that election on Wednesday. Hopefully we get good news and good results. But I'm telling you, this is what will happen. The Democrats will do a big victory lap. It's cope, really. It's a cope lap. It's not a victory lap. It's a cope lap because they know their party is dying. But they do a victory lap over one silly Supreme Court race, which ideally they didn't even gain a seat. This is a seat they already have. They're just keeping it longer. And they're supposed to believe this is a Democrat win, even though the Democratic Party had nothing to do with this race. They didn't run a Democrat. Susan Crawford's not a Democrat. She is a Democrat. She's not running as one. She's an independent. And really, people are supposed to guess willy-nilly on who. They don't even know who the conservative and the liberal is. You're supposed to do your research. People are used to seeing the R or the D by the candidate's name. There's your answer. I'm going to support the Republican because I'm a Republican. Well, you're actually going to have to do research, and I can guarantee you a lot of people aren't. That's just how voting is. So, is it an indictment against Trump? No, it's not. No. In fact, we won so many elections in 2009, and the Democrats, not once, they said, the GOP is done, the GOP is broken, the GOP is done. 2010, we won the midterms. And they still said the GOP was broken and done. Of course. But you could clearly see the turnout, 1 million votes. I just want to see who voted in total. Votes. Yeah, total votes. Here we go. 2 million votes. This is in a general election. And I can tell you right now, this isn't cracking 1 million. It's low turnout because people don't realize there's an election. People are so used to staying home and spending their Saturday, their weekend at home. They don't realize it's an election. That's why I really don't like these special elections in the middle of spring, because You could cry voter suppression because there's lack of information about these races. But Democrats, notice, they don't cry voter suppression. They don't. Because Democrats benefit most when Republicans don't show up. So, obviously, I'm really hoping for a result. We didn't get the results we want in Louisiana. That's concerning, to be honest. But I will give us some benefit of the doubt. Louisiana, we had zero broadcasting about these races. Ballot measures, they aren't advertised that much. People don't advertise. I mean, only if they have something to do with an abortion, then they're advertised. That's due to the leftist media, though. But races involving two candidates, and part of the reason is it's getting news. Thankfully for Elon Musk, who's funding this is getting more news. This is getting more traction. And I'm only hoping that the weather is good on Tuesday so people can get out and vote. We got to win this seat. I will do a separate video about that, but the stakes are high. But there is obviously a way forward if we don't, which is likely. What's our alternative path forward? We'll go over that next. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next political episode.